I'm joined by Paige VanZant, who faces Alex Chambers this Saturday night at UFC 191. First of all, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks.
It's always a pleasure to talk to you. You're always so full of energy and in such a positive mood. Do you ever get bad days?
Yeah, you know, my coaches have definitely seen it. My parents have definitely seen it. So I do have a frustrating side, I guess, stubborn side. I do have it.
But when it comes to fight week, is this something that you enjoy?
It is, you know, and especially like being in front of the cameras. It's hard for me to have any negativity towards these sorts of things. You know, I'm paid to do this. I'm a UFC fighter. It's just so exciting. It's part of the job. You have to do these sorts of things. And for me, you know, I grew up wanting to be in front of a camera and wanting to perform and be on the stage, and this is how I accomplished that.
You've done just that. Your love of being in front of the camera has embraced you back in terms of sponsorships. You are an individual athlete with Reebok. There's been a lot of publicity and TV appearances. How much has your life changed in the past year?
A ton, you know. My life's really changed, but it's easy to stay humbled. You know, I have so many amazing things happening, but I look at Joseph, I look at Chad and Uriah and all the things that they've accomplished, and I'm nowhere near accomplishing all those. So it's really easy to stay humbled when I have people at my gym that have accomplished so much more.
How has Team Alpha Male really shaped you as a professional athlete?
Team Alpha Male has been the world for my career, especially having someone like Uriah. When I walked into the gym, no one knew who I was, and I wasn't nobody at that point. And I walked in, he was like, "Oh, you're a pro. All right, you got to get to these classes. You ought to make sure you're here and here." And he highlighted my schedule and helped me out. And then all of a sudden, after I proved myself a little more, he worked with me more. And even this time, even for this camp, he couldn't be with me or be at our gym during fight camp, but he texted me and make sure everything's going well. I'm getting the coaching, the training partners, and being around people who care that much, it's amazing. And then also just having guidance from these guys who've done absolutely everything I could do. They have the experience that I don't have, but I can ask them any questions I need. Uriah lets anyone through the doors, and that really helps me because I have these flyweights, bantamweights, I have strawweights, both female and male, coming into the gym that I get to train with just because they're coming from all over the world. So I get to train with people all different sizes, from all different backgrounds. And so when I get into the cage, I know I won't really be surprised by anything that comes at me.
Saturday night, you're facing Alex Chambers. Talk to me about her as an opponent and where you feel like she poses the biggest threats.
Yeah, you know, she's a great opponent for me. I've been looking forward to this fight for a long time. Of course, I'm not going to underestimate her in any area. I know she does have a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, a background in karate, and I've definitely changed my fight camp a little to accustom to those, and I'm ready for her in any area.
What were some of the bigger changes that you made with camp?
For this one, there hasn't been a lot at all, actually. It's nice to have a consistency in between some camps, and I'm just kind of stuck at it and really focused on getting better technique.
And I see someone here off camera, Chris Holdsworth, so I've got to imagine you brought him in to help prepare you for her jiu-jitsu.
Yes, yeah, I definitely implemented Chris. He's one of the best jiu-jitsu guys at our gym, if not the best. So I loved being able to work with him, and he's really helped me on a lot of defensive stuff, offensive stuff, so it's great.
So you're going in with a big confidence, and every time we see you step into the octagon, you are showing more from your skill set. You're showing that you're more well-rounded than before. You've always got energy. Yeah. But where do you feel like we're going to see the biggest improvements in your game?
Hopefully the technique. I definitely been working on that, but every time I go into the cage, I go into it with a game plan that tends to go out the window, and I go back to my roots of kind of going in and just brawling to win a fight. So we'll see, you know, you'll have to watch the fight.
You're always pretty emotional after you fight, after that win settles in and after your hand is raised and you talk to Joe Rogan. What are the first things that go through your mind as you're walking backstage?
The first things is I want to find my parents, and if my dad, actually both my parents watched my last fight, so I was just looking for them in the crowd, and I just wanted them to know, like I wanted to know that I made them proud, and it was exciting to finally see them in the crowd and know I made them really proud that night, and that's what'll happen after this one. You know, right afterwards I'll be excited to call my mom, see my dad, and
where does a win over Alex put you?
I don't know. You know, I think for as far as ranking wise, the strawweight rankings aren't very accurate. We just haven't had enough fights, and the division is too new to have a real accurate ranking system. But this is a very important fight for me to win, and every fight I'm going to take as serious as the next.
And it's been a little bit of a break since your last fight when you fought Felice Herrig. Would you like to be someone who's fighting on a consistent 3 or 4 month basis?
I would love that, you know. A little less time in between fights would be great. It helps with your weight-wise. It helps with all sorts of things. And I've been ready for this fight for the last 3 weeks. I'm not someone who takes a lot of time out of the gym. I don't go travel the world after I win a fight. I go straight back to the gym just because that's where home is. And a little less time would be great.
You made your UFC debut in November in Austin, Texas, and you've had, this will be now your 3rd fight since then. Mm-hmm. How do you feel like you have progressed as a mixed martial artist?
I've really progressed. I definitely, in the past year, I've gained a lot of technique, a lot of knowledge, and a lot of experience. You know, and being here for the 3rd time, it's way more comfortable. I know I can contact anyone from the UFC and they'll get me whatever I need. It's a more comfortable feeling.
And now there's all these people who know your name and who are FanZants. Knowing that you've got such a big fan base in such a short amount of time, why do you feel like you really resonate with these people?
I want to be a good representation and someone that girls especially can connect with. And I just wanted people to know, like, I'm just a regular, everyday person, and I happen to fall in love with a sport that I was able to make my career. So I do think I connect with a lot of people out there, and I'm happy to be in this position where I can make a difference, hopefully, in other people's lives as well.
Have you felt like you have seen a reaction from young girls who maybe have watched you fight or have said, oh, look at, she's doing it, and now I can too?
I definitely do. You know, I notice on social media a lot. I get a lot of like little girls messaging me, and that just warms my heart. And especially having girls come up to me at fights or at events, and they know who I am, and they're excited to meet me, and they've heard my story. I get a lot of messages, especially on Instagram, about how I've inspired girls to join a sport, to start MMA. That's huge for me. You know, the fact that I can be an inspiration to someone, it's an unreal feeling.
On Saturday night, how do you feel like you beat Alex?
In every way. I'm ready for this fight. I'm ready on the ground. I'm ready to stand up with her. I'm just ready to get that win again. I miss that adrenaline rush of being in the cage.
Well, I know all of the FanZants are looking forward to seeing you back in the octagon. Best of luck to you on Saturday.
Thank you.
Thanks.